All right. Welcome to your practice. I'm delighted that you have making some time for yourself today. And we're going to do a 60-minute flow, slow vinyasa, mindful breathing, feeling good in the body. And we're going to target today the shoulders, the front of the shoulder, stretch and strengthening the upper back, right? Sometimes we need a little bit of love in there. So have a strap or anything that mimics a strap will be helpful. And, as usual, blocks or a blanket nearby. It's always nice to have the option to just adjust the practice as you go. And talking about the shoulders, let's just start by stretching them a little bit. And we're going to go straight into it because I want to make the most of our practice. We're going to go straight into the stretch. And for this one, we're going to go into our bellies. And if you want, just take a moment before you set up yourself so you can kind of see where we're going with this. So you're going to come into your belly and we're going to extend the right arm. So you're going to see your elbow and the shoulder same height. Bend the elbow and walk the hand slightly forward. So when you look at your arm, your elbow is higher than the shoulder. Your right shoulder is almost hovering above the ground. And we're going to do is bring the head to the opposite side. You're going to rest it on the floor. And you're going to stack your hips. So with the left hand, you're going to press into the ground and open your body to the left. And so the best you can, relax the shoulder, the right shoulder down. Your left hand can be on the floor. Your left hand can be on the forearm. We're going to start tapping into that side stretch of the pec and strengthening a little bit the contraction of the shoulder blade. And please feel free to close your eyes and just dive a moment into settling into your first stretch. And continue as a reminder to utilize your exhale to help you soften any tension you might feel anywhere in the body besides the right shoulder. Let's take a moment here to connect a little bit with our stillness. Just a little pause on the day, whatever you were doing prior to your practice, just give it a moment to pause and be fully present. Be mindful on how the shoulder speaks or talks to you through signs or sensations. And if you feel this is too intense, just kind of do a little bit less. But continue to deepen the breath slowly in through the nose. And relax the legs. The legs sometimes get tense. Just let them be. Continue relaxing as much as possible. And just a couple more breaths here. Good. Gently close your left hip down. Come back to your belly. Release slowly your right hand by your side. And press the forehead into the mat. So it's almost like doing a Savasana on your belly. Palms and hands by your side for a moment. And keep your awareness into that right shoulder blade. Keep your awareness into that right shoulder. Just let it melt. Let it feel heavy and relaxed. And we're just going to prepare for the other side. So extend the left arm out, bend the elbow, and walk the hand slightly up. And rotate the head to the right. So you're pressing through the side of the head. Right hand on the side to help you press and open your body to the right. Stack your hips in here and notice gently pressing the left shoulder down. It is a very deep stretch on some of these muscles that today's day we tend to overwork, or sometimes we tend to ignore and they get fatigued. It's just the way it is in today's way we move. So give yourself a moment there to acknowledge whether this feels intense or actually feels good. And if it feels right, closing your eyes and diving more into that introspection, meditative part of the practice. Keep connecting to your breath. Let your muscles gently soften with every breath out. It's almost like we're trying to do a little bit of active practice as we stretch the shoulder, as we integrate a little bit of stillness, giving ourselves permission to slowly arrive to the practice. Just noticing how our body feels right this moment. And just 2 more breaths here, nice and slow through the nose. And take your time to slowly come out of the pose, back into your belly, pressing forehead into the mat, hands by your side. Once again, keep your awareness into that left shoulder blade. Take your time to just press your palms by your side. Let's do a gentle baby cobra. So pressing the shoulder blades towards each other, squeeze the shoulder blades, elbows pointing straight up and back. Slide the hands slightly down, close to your rib cage, and then lift the head, lift the chest, ground yourself through the pelvis. Try to do a baby cobra. Baby cobra works more on the muscles on the upper back and middle back, right? And use the strength of your legs and your feet. 1 more breath in. As you exhale, tuck your toes, press back to your knees, and push to your first child's pose. So you might want to sit on the heels, reach in the hands forward, and let the pelvis reach back. Usually when we do child's pose, we've been focusing and stretching, which you're stretching the lower back, but I want to now direct your attention into stretching the side of the shoulders, your lats. It's the muscle on the side. So if you're a swimmer, you know which muscle is this one, right? It's the big muscle that connects through the outer shoulders, side of the torso, down into the pelvis and the sacrum. So here in child's pose, really pressing your palms into the floor, lift the elbows off the mat, and try to grip the mat as you press your pelvis more down into the hips and separate the shoulder blades. You're going to feel the engagement of the lat muscle. So take 1 more breath here. Good, and then come into your cat-cow. Let's do a couple rounds into your tabletop. It's all warming up the shoulders. So as you inhale, open in the heart. Let that feel stretch on the abdomen, but also shoulder blades together here, right? As you exhale, shoulder blades apart, stretching them up, dropping the head, looking back and down. And continue 1 more round. Inhale. And exhale. Puppy pose. You know this was coming, right? So neutralize your spine. Option to grab some blocks. I sometimes prefer blocks, sometimes I don't. So I'm going to explore today with blocks. But the idea is walk your hands far forward, almost like if we were going to do a downward facing dog. Hands a little wider than shoulders distance, and then drop the forehead down to the floor. Keep the hips high on top of the knees. And focus again. The main focus here is the shoulders. However, you got to ground yourself through your toes and knees. You gotta draw the lower belly in to help you lift the to help you lift the sacrum or the sitting bones. So it's a gentle back bend of the lower and middle back as you're stretching the shoulders. So similar to that child's pose that we just did, keep your elbows off the mat and pressing the floor with your hands and with your fingertips, like you're grabbing the mat, pressing the hips up. It's the little actions in the flexibility of this pose that brings strength for the upper back. 2 more breaths here. I know puppy pose is not very comfortable sometimes. Just soften as you exhale. And then 1 more breath. Press your palms, lift the head. Nice. And then come into your seated on the heels, crossing the legs. We're just going to continue 1 more time to soften and stretch the shoulders. And here's where we're going to grab the strap. And I'm going to face you now. I'm going to place a blanket so the top of my ankles have some support as I sit in here. We're going to grab the strap and you're going to press your palms away from each other as you grab the strap. Sometimes a lot wider than shoulders, especially when we're going to reach and floss the shoulder by reaching arms up. We're going to do 10 rounds, okay? So make sure the spine is nice and tall, crown of the head tall, shoulders and face relaxed. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. Here, some of you might have to widen the hands to allow the strap to reach back and down slowly. And keep pressing the hands away from each other. Inhale, slowly come all the way up. And then exhale down. So that was 1 round. We're going to do 9 more. Don't worry, don't count, just do it. I'll keep the numbers in my head. Inhale, hopefully. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And keep breathing in. Exhale back and down. Inhale up. Exhale forward and down. Good. Just keep brewing. And you can go a little faster if you like. You can go a little slower if you like. But my advice is to be kind to the joints, right? And going slow definitely helps you to be kind. You might start to feel some heat building on the shoulders, the deltoids. Try your best to soften your gaze, your jaw, lengthen the back of the neck, nice and tall. And just imagine with every movement here on the shoulders, you are helping to release any stiffness, any blockage that might feel tension, resistance, stress. We're just literally flossing the shoulders, eliminating anything that shouldn't be there or minimizing anything that feels heavy. And we're almost there, 2 more rounds. Stay with your breath. Keep your mind in the moment. There is a lot going on in the shoulders, so just notice. And then on our last round, we're going to reach up and we're going to hold it back. So as you bring your hands back, I want you to find that spot that feels the most intense. It's usually halfway, not even halfway down. It's like 1/3 of this process. And then squeeze the shoulder blades and keep pressing your palms away. Now release all the way back down just to kind of finish that round. And then reach the arms up and forward. And then relax. Release your strap. Nicely done. Fingertips on the shoulders, rolling circles with the elbows, gently and slowly, any direction, any side, small or big. I don't know about you, but my shoulders are really hot right now. They feel a lot of heat, and that's a good thing. Let's do an eagle. Extend the arms out to the side, right hand on top. Try to remember option one, you can hug yourself in here, elbows stacking into each other a little higher and forward, or you can try to touch the back of your palms as you reach the forearms up, or maybe intertwine your palms. Either choice, make sure that your chest is sinking back, so it's a gentle cat sensation on the upper back. And then really squeezing the elbows into each other, press them forward and up. Deep stretch of the shoulder blades, upper back. Drop the head to the right for a moment. Bring the head to center, opposite side. And then release, head to center. Shake your arms. We're going to do that on the other side. Arms out, left arm on top of the right. Find your version, right? Hugging yourself or full intertwine of the palms or pressing the back of your forearms. The trick here is all about the elbows, how high they are and how much are they pressing forward and up. Using that breath to help you stay calm. If this feels intense, soften with the breath out. One more breath. Good. And then slowly release. We've done a lot of stretching, so just take a moment there. Let's go into our downward facing dog now. Let's tap into our strength. Take your time to settle into your pose. Spreading the fingers wide. If you need to come into your fist, take your time to adjust. And then similar to that child's pose, similar to that puppy pose, we're going to try to grip the mat with your fingertips, pressing the hips high, but keep the shoulder blades apart. So it's like an internal rotation of your biceps. You're going to feel, hopefully, a little bit more engaged of your lat muscles. Is that big muscle on the side of the shoulder down to the spine. Take one more breath in your downward facing dog. Feel free to walk it. Feel free to stretch the thighs, the hamstrings, one leg at a time as you walk your dog. Good. And then hear me out. Here from downward facing dog, look at your right foot and then bring your right heel slightly in. Bend your left knee. So you're in downward facing dog. Left leg is bending and your right foot is flat down with the heel in. Lean into that right hip and then open your chest to the right. So now we're stretching, right? The side of the torso. We're stretching that lap. So we're trying to look to the right, letting that left knee fall down to the right. Keep pressing the right hip to the right. Good, and let's do that on the other side. Settle and center your feet and your hips. And bend your right knee. Bring your left heel slightly in. Lean into the left hip and open and stretch into that left side. Keep pushing the floor away. And try to bring your chest a little closer to your legs. That's where you're going to feel the stretch on the side. One more breath. Good. And then come back to center into your downward facing dog. Let's do sun salutations. Let's start with half. Take an inhale, look forward. Rise the heels, bend the knees. As you exhale, you can gently walk or jump to the very top of your mat. Once you reach the top, stay here in forward fold. Really dropping the head, leaning into the toes, feeling and breathing into the stretch of the legs. And then bring your hands above the knee, lift the chest halfway up, long inhale. Exhale, forward fold again. And the next breath in, let's come all the way up to standing. First stretch, reaching the arms up. Interlace the fingers, side bend to the right. And once again, my intention is to keep your awareness on the shoulder. As you come into side bend into the right, breathing into the left side of the shoulder girdle here, pressing and growing into the left shoulder to the left. Come back to center, inhale, exhale, left side. So now you're focusing more on that right side, right shoulder blade, really feeling that stretch. Nice. And then slowly release, forward fold again. In forward fold, reach your hands behind you. You can grab opposite elbows or interlace the fingers. One more stretch for the front of the chest. As you let the head drop, maybe chin to the chest, stretching the back of your neck. Good. Release the hands down. Let's step back into downward facing dog. So that's the variation for Sun Salutation right now in the beginning. So let's do 2 more rounds like that. I'll keep my talk to the minimum so you can tap more into that breath and just feeling the shoulders slightly open up. So you can inhale, look forward. Get ready as you exhale to walk or jump to the very top of your mat. Stay here for a full exhale, forward fold, really stretching, breathing into the legs. Inhale, come halfway up with your spine, shoulders back. Exhale, drop the head down again, forward fold. Inhale, growing as tall as you can, stretching, reaching fingers up, interlace the fingers, flip your palm, side bend to the right, inhale, strong core. Exhale, center, inhaling center to grow taller. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. As you exhale, reach the hands behind you, forward fold, stretching the shoulders in your Uttanasana here. Exhale, release the hands, stepping back to downward facing dog. Hopefully, what I would like for you to experience is that as we come into this repetition, you feel the shoulders getting a little bit more themselves, whatever that means in your body. Take one more breath in. Long exhale. Last one like this. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, get ready to walk or jump to the top. Stay on your top, forward fold here. Strong toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine, come halfway up. Long exhale, release, forward fold. Come all the way up to standing. Arms overhead, interlace the fingers, flip in the palm. Grow taller, inhale. Exhale, side bend. Breathe. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend left. Breathe. Inhale, center. And as you exhale, hands behind you, bend the knees, forward fold, shoulder stretch. And see if you, in this one, you can press the hands a little bit farther away from your body. And gently bring the chest to the right. It's almost like a gentle twist as you're here. Yes, come back to center with your chest and then look over to the left and open the chest to the left. Beautiful. Release the hands. Step back into downward facing dog. Very nice. Just notice how your body's reacting, the shoulders reacting. Take one more breath. And exhale, drop the knees in here. Let's do a couple of cat-cow. Finding that balance, right? As you inhale, you open the heart, shoulder blades coming together. As you exhale, rounding your spine, shoulder blades coming apart. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Good. From here, nice and slow, press back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale in dog. As you exhale, we're going to do our first plank. So if you would like to drop the knees, drop just the right knee. And then really pressing the floor away. And then lifting the hips up and back for dog. Let's do that 2 more rounds. Inhale, back to plank. If you were dropping the knees, now drop the left. Keep the chest away from the floor, shoulder blades apart, so slightly cat. Neutralize the pelvis, so you're lifting from the thighs and not the lower back. Good. Back to downward facing dog. Now, last one, inhale, plank. If you were on your knees, you can drop both knees on the floor or try to do it with your legs up. Inhale. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Very nice. In downward facing dog, we're going to drop our forearms, come into dolphin. So make sure your shoulders are right above the elbows. That's going to help you to hug the elbows in. You can interlace your fingers here, pressing your outer edges of your wrist, or you can grab a block between your hands. Give yourself a moment here to bend the knees if you have to. And if you're bending the knees, you can walk the hips slightly up. You can also do dolphin on your knees. It's all good. One more breath in here. Upper body strength, shoulder strength. And then drop the knees here for a moment and sit back into your child's pose. You can reach the hands beside you and grab your heels with your hands. Give your shoulders a moment here. Breathing in. Good. So, repetition makes progress. Don't worry, we're just going to do this a couple more times just to get the shoulders very strong in here. It's a balance between stretching and strengthening. So if you are in child's pose, you can definitely do dolphin on your knees, just like I'm doing. The trick in here is that you don't get a little bit passive. You got to be a little bit active, even though your knees are down. You can push the floor away with your forearms and really feel the engagement of your shoulder girdle here. But if you want to hover the knees and lift the hips up and back, just make sure you're looking down to your toes. The neck is relaxed and you're really pushing the floor away with your forearms. So now your forearms becomes your hands. Good. One more breath in. And then release the knees down and find that passive child's pose with your hands by your side. Breathing slowly through the nose. Couple breaths here. Let go of tension as you breathe out. All right. One more time. You know what they said, third time is the charm. The idea is that eventually your body starts to become more comfortable, more familiar with this, right? And that's the idea, to put the body in certain poses so your muscles remember what they're meant to do. So try to be in the moment, try to drop the judgment, try to stay with your breath. And one more breath in. And then as you exhale, press into downward facing dog. So take your time to press one palm at a time and you're back into your downward facing dog. So notice how maybe downward facing dog feels more like home to you, right? Because we do this more often than the dolphin. So the idea is that if we do dolphin more often, it becomes as familiar as you might feel in dog. Beautiful. Bring your feet together nice and slow as you inhale, look forward. And then as you exhale, step to the top of your mat. Take your time, standing forward fold. Grab opposite elbows and feel free to bend the knees and rest the chest on your thighs. That's definitely a good option to feel a little bit more support. But as you grab opposite elbows, press the elbows into your palms. And then with your palms, hug the elbows in. And as you press your inner thighs up, let your forearms come a little closer to the floor. And breathe, soften the head, let the head drop. Breathing into the stretch of the legs, breathing into the stretch of the neck. Your lower abdomen is drawing in, so you're feeling strong on the pelvis. Beautiful, one more breath. And then release your hands, come all the way up to standing. Nice and slow. A little back bend on the top, so you can touch your palms if you like. Gently pressing the pelvis forward and opening the heart here. Could be a minor back bend or whatever level it feels right. Good. And then exhale, release, palms in the center of your heart. Let's do a high lunge now. So right foot reaches back and make sure your feet are as wide as the hips. Keep your right heel lifted, pressing through the ball of your right foot. If you want to bring a little bit more activation on the legs, really wider the stance. So when you bend the front knee, your front thigh comes a little closer down to the floor, right? So same goes to the opposite. If you want something less intense, keep your feet a little bit closer to each other. And hands on the hips for a moment. I want you to focus more on your balance here, right? It's a lot of balance here. So find your focus on something that doesn't move. And then I want you to breathe into the front of your right hip. And I want you to breathe on the strength of your left glute, bending that left knee so it's on top of the heel. Good. We're going to come into eagle arms on the right. So you are going to extend the arms out to the side and then bring your right arm on top of the left. And you can hug yourself. Remember, that's always an option for eagle arms. Or you can just kind of press the back of your forearms. Good. Breathing in here. Now we're going to transition to warrior two, but we're going to keep the eagle arms. So the transition goes from the waist down. So you're going to drop the right heel slightly in and start rotating the chest to the right side of your mat as you keep bending that front knee. Good. One more breath here. Then release and extend the arms out to the side for that warrior two. Very good. Let's reverse it. So your right hand can rest or press gently into the right leg, and top hand reaches up and back. Keep bending the front knee. Good. And then slowly come back into that warrior two. And then lift the back heel again, nice and slow into that crescent lunge. Just adjust here for a moment. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Step back into your plank. If you want to do it on your knees, please do. Take a moment here. Now, from plank, we're going to drop into your forearms. So take your time to bring your right forearm, left forearm. You might want to wiggle your feet back so the pelvis is a little bit lower to the ground. One breath in, upper body strength, chest away from the floor, round the upper back, belly in. Drop the knees, the thighs, the pelvis. Press the top of your feet, transfer into Sphinx pose. So notice how we are building strength and heat without doing a lot of movement. We're going slow, we're holding. And that creates more toning forces than using the speed to warm up the heart. We're actually warming up more of the muscles. And sometimes when we do that, we hold the breath, and maybe that's why maybe your breath feels a little shallow, maybe your heart feels a little faster. It's more about the breath than the pace of the practice. Good. Release the chest down, baby cobra. Palms by your side, forehead on the floor. Settle the pelvis, so you're pressing your hip bones. Top of the feet into the floor. When you're ready, baby cobra. Option 1, hands on the floor. Option 2, you hover your hands off the floor. Maybe you bring your legs up. It's like a variation of Savasana here. Squeeze in the elbows. One more breath. And then release into that passive child's pose. Hands by your side. A couple breaths to reset before we go into the other side. Deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. Good. Downward facing dog as you breathe in. Really spread your fingers apart and internally rotate your biceps. Notice how that affects on the upper back. Lift in the pelvis. One more breath. Good. Bring your feet together as you inhale. Look forward. Remember, as you exhale, you can walk or jump to the top of your mat. Standing forward fold. Let's do a different standing forward fold to take care of our wrists. So bend the knees. Rise the right foot and bring your right palm under. So the bottom of your palm is facing towards the bottom of your foot. And your toes are coming to the base of your wrist, and you're leaning in there, so that creates some gentle stretch of the wrists. You can do this with both hands at the same time, or you can do one hand at a time. You can keep the arms straight and just drop the head, or you can bend the elbows to the side and just kind of feeling the chest coming a little closer perhaps to your thighs as you bend the elbows out to the side. 2 breaths. Feel free to close your eyes if that helps you not to fall. Keep your balance here, right? Okay. Lean into the heels so you can remove the feet and your palms. Good. Come all the way up to standing. Give yourself another stretch. A gentle back bend at the top again if you want to. Choose what feels right. And then exhale, release. Palms in your heart center. Let's do a high lunge on the left side. So right foot stays there, and you're going to kick that left heel back. And as we bend the front knee, we're going to give ourselves a moment here to feel strongly stable, right? There's a lot of challenge in here. And keep your hands on the pelvis for a moment. And if you were to imagine your entire spine, try to maintain that natural curve of the spine on the lower back. So adjust the pelvis either in the front or the back to help you feel more stable on the pelvis. So then you can enjoy the stretch on the front of your left hip. Shoulders relaxed, leaning slightly back. And now we're going to do our eagle arm. So the left arm comes on top of the right. If you're hugging yourself, your left arm is on top, and you're going to try to stack the elbows on top of each other. So notice how the shoulders slowly starting to feel a little bit more themselves. And if they are still kind of tight or tense, just be kind to it. They carry a lot of tension throughout the day. Good. One more breath in here. Now from the waist down, we're going to transition into our warrior two. So drop the left heel and bring your eagle arms to point to the left side along with your chest. And keep bending that front knee. Nice. Breathe in. As you exhale, release your arms. Find that warrior two strongly through the fingertips, pressing in opposite direction. Reverse the warrior. Exhale. Let it feel good on the side stretch. And then slowly back to that warrior two. And then reach your arms overhead, square the pelvis, lift the back heel into that crescent lunge. Breathe in. And then exhale, hands down to the floor, stepping back into that plank. Now drop the knees in here in plank. Find your tabletop for a moment. Good. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna kick your right foot out to the side. I'm gonna change my way here, so I'm gonna show you my back so you get to see what I'm trying to say. So your right foot is the only one that is gonna move. So imagine your right thigh is pressing towards the mat, so your knees pointing to the center of the mat and your right foot goes out. Good. Then extend your left leg out to the side, so we're coming into this side variation of plank. Okay, so that bottom foot is helping you as an extra support. Try to maintain the pelvis forward. So imagine that your extended leg, your pelvis, your head, and the shoulders are one straight line. Soften the right shoulder away from the ear and continue rotating the chest. Now, keeping your gaze down is going to help you to feel more stable. If you want to challenge your balance, you can just bring your gaze to look at your left palm. But imagine the shoulder blades coming down and together, supporting your entire upper back. Belly drawing. One more breath. Good. Close that top hand down and come back into that tabletop, so that right foot comes in, left knee down. And let's just do that on the other side. Kicking that left foot out. Extend your right leg out to the side. Open yourself to the right side of your mat. And just be mindful of the shoulders coming closer to the ears. Keep them away from the ear. Bringing the shoulder blades together so you feel almost like a very powerful strength from the upper back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. And then close that top hand back into that tabletop. And you know, we have to do cat-cow when you are in tabletop. That feels good. So as you inhale, open in the heart. As you exhale, round and push. One more breath in. And long exhale. And downward facing dog. We're gonna do one more sequence on standing balancing. I think we're ready for the peak pose, which is humble warrior. And we're just gonna do one time on each side. And let's just do a vinyasa style. So take an inhale, reach your right leg up and back for that three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, bring that knee to the chest. As you rock forward into plank, to drop that right foot in between the hands, right? That tough transition. And then drop the left heel down here. Keep your hands on the floor. Just kind of settle more on your legs. I want you to feel strong on the legs. If you need to widen your feet, open your right foot a little bit more to the right, so you can hug the right knee into the center of the mat. So that hip is not out, just bring it in and back. Good. Use the strength of your feet and legs to press yourself slowly all the way up into that warrior one. So In warrior one, your chest and your shoulders are square. So they are facing the top of the mat and the hands are above the head, right? This is a pose that I don't teach much because it's just complex. It's very complex on the pelvis. So if it feels a little bit unfamiliar, uneasy, it is because it is. Bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers and roll the shoulder blades together, almost like you're trying to press the sternum up, fingertips down to the floor. Good. Now bring your chest inside your right leg. And this is when I say you can open your right foot as far out to the side as you need to. Right shoulder rest on the right thigh, and you're squeezing the knuckles up. Head drops, gaze to the back, and bring your right hip in so your pelvis is in the center of the mat. One more breath. Keep your legs strong, maybe your right thigh is in fire. It's all good. One more breath. Good. Then release your hands nice and slow to the floor. Back to your plank. One more breath in. Now we're going to do that side plank one more time. You can drop the right knee as we did before, or you can pivot both heels to the right. Your choice. Right knee, remember that foot is out, just like we did before. Or if you want to do that, both legs lifted, we're going to open ourselves to the left. Either choice, we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just adjust and give your body what it needs. Sometimes what we want is not what the body needs. And last breath in. And then close your plank and press back into downward facing dog. If you need a child's pose, you can also go there for a couple breaths. Take your time. Good. Join us when you're ready. Left foot reaches up and back for that 3-legged dog, kicking that foot as high as you can. And transition that foot slowly into your warrior one. Keep your hands down and position your feet in such a way that your legs are feeling stable and strong. To slowly lift the chest up into your warrior one. The slower you go, the more you feel those thighs engaging and the core engaging in here. Good. Reach your hands up, crown of the head up, and ground yourself down through your legs and feet. So the energy is going up and down, beautifully balanced as you breathe. Good. Release the hands down and back. Interlace the fingers. I meant to give you an option that you can also grab opposite elbows if going for the fingers feels too intense on the shoulders. A gentle open of the chest. And then as you exhale, drop the chest inside your left thigh. Maybe the left elbow, shoulder rest on the thigh. And just lower the pelvis a little bit here. Let the head drop, shake it yes or no. Breathing into the front of the chest. One more breath. Good, and then slowly from here, release the hands on the floor. And then step back into your plank. Left foot back. Remember the options to go into that side plank, right? Whether you drop the left knee or both heels are pivoting to the left. Open yourself to the right side of your mat and find your side plank. Just 3 rounds of breath in here. Soften your attention as you breathe out. One more breath. Good, and then close your plank. Nice and slow, knees down, thighs and hips down. Let's do one more baby cobra or Savasana. Either option, we're still strengthening the back, strengthening, squeezing the shoulder blades in here. Good, and then press back into your downward facing dog. Last one of the practice. Just like we did in the beginning, bend your left knee, drop the right heel in, lean into the right side, and just feel that side stretch as you come into this twisted downward facing dog. Beautiful switching sides, bending right knee, left heel drops, leaning into the left outer hip, and maybe bringing your gaze and chest over to the left as you bring your chest closer to your thigh. Good. Neutralize your downward facing dog. One breath in. And as you exhale, wide-legged child's pose. Knees apart, big toes touch, sitting on the heels. Any variation with your hands. Just a couple breaths. We're going to do thread the needle in child's pose. So as of now, if you want to have a blanket to support the forehead, if you want to reach your hands forward, hands by your side, take your time. Just 2 breaths. Good. Now we're going to come into this variation of thread the needle in child's pose. So let's start with the right. Bring your right hand under the left arm. And then see if you can bring your gaze to the left, drop the side of the head, and just let the right shoulder go down. Once again, probably it's not going to touch the mat, and that's okay. Just kind of leaning into that right shoulder blade. Feel heavy on the left hip. Let your belly feel relaxed. Let the breath feel relaxing. You have the option here to bring your left hand behind you and grab your right hip or your right thigh if you want to add a binding on the left shoulder to kind of stretch it again. 2 more breaths here. You have done amazing. This is not easy, strengthening and stretching the shoulders. So much tension on the shoulders. So I truly hope after the practice, your shoulders feels a little bit more happy. If you're doing the binding, release that left hand. Gently come back into your child's pose, kicking your right hand in front of you. 1 deep inhale. And exhale. Let's get ready on the left side. Left hand under the right. Bring your gaze to look over to the right. And allow the left shoulder to kind of drop as far down as it can so you can lean into the left shoulder blade. Your right hand, if you like, bring it behind you for that binding. Maybe you just grab somewhere there on the left side of your body, whether it's the lower back, your glutes, your pelvis, your thigh, whatever is there. If you're doing the banding, consciously try to bring the right shoulder back, almost like you're lifting yourself with that binding. Good, a couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath. As gently as you can, unwind the binding if you were there. And see if you can do a child's pose where you bring your forearms as a pillow for your head. You can just kind of grab your arms with your hands, just kind of lean in here for a moment. Good. And then come all the way and roll into your back. Hug the knees to your chest. We're going to do some gentle and brief Savasana. As you hug the knees on your back, gently rock side to side. A gentle twist, both knees to the right, opening that left arm. Bring your right hand to the left thigh so you can kind of gently press for a gentle, more deep of the lower back and left hip stretch. And then come back to center with your knees using your core. Both shoulders are on the floor. Knees to the left, open your right arm. And just adding some gentle extra weight with your left hand on top of that right thigh. Beautiful, yogis. And then extend the legs in here. Give yourself permission for your well-deserved Shavasana. You've worked really hard today on your shoulders, your body, your legs. So I'm just going to give you a 2 minutes of full silence so your body can continue to feel heavy, relaxed, supported. And just give it a moment to let it feel all your efforts. Relaxing your breath and continue soften physically and mentally with every breath out. And very gently and slowly deepen your breath. It's a way to reconnect your awareness to your whole body and to this present moment. You can gently move your wrist and ankle joints and roll them in circles, awakening your toes and your fingers. And reaching arms overhead for another deep stretch. Your whole body awakens. And then hug those knees back to your chest. Feeling a deep sense of appreciation for everything your body did today. Roll to your right side and take a couple breaths in here. Settling the energy, settling the attention. Just feeling that connection with yourself beyond the body. Sense of peace, hopefully. And then press and find your comfortable seated position so we can finish our practice together with a little bit of breathing to continue giving you the tools to ground yourself, relax yourself, and be fully present so you get to appreciate all the blessings in your life. Find your sitting bones, make sure your spine is nice and tall, and everything else relaxes. And just take a deep breath in through the nose, slowly. And deep, slow exhale. One more like that, deep and slow breath in. And full exhale. You can bring your palms together in the heart center in prayer position or rest them on your chest. It's a gentle bow to show respect and appreciation, not only for our practice, but to ourselves. Infinite gratitude for creating space for your well-being. I hope this practice delivers you exactly what you need for your mental, physical, spiritual, energetically, and emotional well-being. I hope the shoulders are feeling more themselves. Infinite gratitude. I hope to see you very soon, and stay tuned as this class will be added to our collection. And once again, any suggestions, any questions, anything, please let me know. I'm here for you. I hope to see you soon.